Hey, Shalom, this is the brother Ba. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm going to title this somewhere along the lines of the Sumerians and the time of Abraham, something like that. Because we had this guy, all right, this stupid nigga come up this past Saturday at camp. Bros was teaching, and this guy comes up with collard greens still stuck in his mouth from Thanksgiving. And, you know, he sees bros teaching, and the first thing that he says is, what about Sumerians? The Sumerians. What about the Sumerians? They came first, the Sumerians. And he said that as if, like, because the ancient Sumerians were a civilization before the nation of Israel was founded as a nation, that means that the Sumerians have more weight or have more hold on their beliefs being true, and the nation of Israel is more false and has adopted Sumerian ideologies. You know, he was along the lines of saying some bullshit like that, which he lacks understanding. That's a very foolish argument to make. Just because the civilization was established before another civilization doesn't make it more right than another one, right? Now, first and foremost, before anything, we as Hebrew Israelites believe in the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So if you don't believe in the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which his Hebrew name is Yahweh, all right, his first begotten, the Messiah, is Yahweh Shai. If you don't believe on the Most High Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we can't deal with you. All right? That's first and foremost. That's who it doesn't matter what civilization came first. All right? We're dealing with the truth. And that's why I said I'm gonna probably put Abraham in the title, because Abraham left off from those societies and those civilizations that were keeping those pagan customs. And I'm going to, like I said, I don't know if I stated already, I'm going to put up like 3 or 4 maps in the background of this video, so you have some type of understanding of what I'm talking about. And you can do, you can look at the maps on your own time, do more research on your own time, and get more familiar with the geographic locations of these civilizations. But, yeah. You know, you go back to the book of Genesis with the start of creation and where man was put in the garden. It's known as, around that region of what is called Mesopotamia. All right. When you go to the book of Genesis, that's why, you got to have understanding, because even during the time of what people would term the first man and first woman, which it was a nation of Adamites, all right, you had a whole bunch of men and a whole bunch of women. The scriptures say when the Lord created male and female, he created them, all right. When he created all the beasts, he created an innumerable amount, all right, of different kinds. He didn't just create one of each. So there was many men and women dwelling on the earth during the time of Adam and Eve. But during that time, you had wicked ideologies and wicked philosophies being taught during that time. That's why they were punished, right? Now, when you go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, and it talks about the rivers coming out of garden, right? It says, this is Genesis chapter 2, verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is, it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, right? Verse 12, and the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. And it is which goeth toward the east of Assyria. All right. And the Hiddekel river is, when you go into it, it's the Tigris river. All right. And it says, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. So it lets you know where the garden was placed at. All right. It was placed in, what would be known as around that region of the Fertile Crescent or Mesopotamia. Now, reason for me starting right there is because those wicked beliefs came even back from the garden. Before you had a Sumerian civilization or Babylonian kingdom, those ancient deities and ancient philosophies were already being taught, right? Like the scriptures tell us, there's no new thing under the sun, all right? All these pagan deities that you see, even in today in America with Christmas, all these days that go back to Babylon, they go all the way back. Really, they go all the way back to the garden, and that's why Adam and Eve was punished. Now, let me get that real quick. Over here in Genesis chapter 3, verse 1, right? It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made." All right, which shows you man are like beasts in their natural state, because the serpent was talking about a man with serpent-like tendencies. That's why he was called a serpent. That's why he was talking to Eve, right? He goes on to say, "And he said unto the woman, Yea, have the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." So right there lets us know that this is dealing with some type of knowledge, all right, some type of belief, because he said you will be knowing good and evil. When you know something, that means you have knowledge of something. So this had to do with getting more knowledge, but it was wicked knowledge. It was those wicked beliefs, pagan ideologies that were being taught back then. That's why you have the fruits of the spirit, all right, fruits of wickedness, all right. That's why knowledge is likened as a fruit. Verse 6. "And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to her eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise," see, to make one wise, to make you wise. She was seeking out this other knowledge that she wasn't supposed to be dealing with. And to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So they ate of those wicked philosophies back then. Now, when you continue in the book of Genesis, all right, let's go to Genesis chapter 10. The scriptures tell us about Nimrod, when Nimrod began his kingdom. And that's why I'm going to have these maps up, because when you look at that map, it's all in that area of Mesopotamia. All right. And he was talking about the Sumerians. All right. Well, when you look at where the ancient civilization of Sumer was placed, it was placed in that area of Mesopotamia. That area later became part of Nimrod's kingdom, right? Let me just read this in Genesis chapter 10, verse 8. It says, "And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar." So his kingdom, all these cities that he had in his kingdom, Babel, Erech, Akkad, Calneh, they were in the land of Shinar, which was in the same region, the same landmass of ancient Sumer, right? And I believe when you go into that word Shinar, it actually references it being Sumer, all right? Showing you that these pagan beliefs came from that region where the garden was established, all right? Knowledge didn't begin with the Egyptians. Knowledge didn't begin with the Assyrians. Knowledge didn't begin with the Babylonians, all right? Knowledge began in the garden when the Most High breathed breath into man, and then man decided to seek after the knowledge of wickedness, and that became the downfall of man, all right? So we got some understanding on that land Shinar, right? Sumer, which is also referencing Sumer. When you go over to Genesis chapter 11, right, it says, this is when they're dealing with the Tower of Babel and all that. It says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, right? And they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar, all right? And they said, one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. So this letting you know, the Babylonian kingdom was being based off of those same pagan ideologies and false deities from the Sumerian people, all right, that believed on their idols, all right? It's the same deities and pagan deities rehashing themselves under different names, under different images, but they come with the same spirit, all right, and the same kind of feast days and the same ways that you have to worship them. Now, when you go further down in the chapter, right, in Genesis chapter 11, let's go down to verse 31. It says, and Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldeans, right? And when you look at the land of Ur near that region, in that region of Mesopotamia, the same region of the ancient Babylonian Empire and the ancient Sumerian civilization, Ur was south of all that, all right? It was south in the land of Shinar. It was south in the land of Sumer. So Abram and his family were familiar with those deities that were being preached during his time, all right? All this predates Moses and the nation of Israel being decreed to be a nation, all right? All this predates King Solomon and King David establishing the kingdom of Israel, right? But the royal seed line, the sons of God, the sons of the righteous, all right, which came from Shem, all right, Arphaxad, Seth, so forth and so on, all the way down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that royal chosen seed line, it later became the children of Israel. But just because the ancient civilization predated the children, the nation of Israel, doesn't mean that's the nation the true power is dealing with. All right, that's why the Lord told Abram this. After I read this, so they left the land of Ur to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. All right, so they was dwelling in the land of Haran, and this is what did the Lord tell Abram? Now the Lord power Yahweh had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. So he said, look, you got to depart from this these pagan ways, these pagan beliefs that these people are believing upon that ain't true. The Lord said he chose Abraham to show him that he is the true power that exists. All right. Verse 2. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. So this is where we get into what the blessing, all right, the nation who the Lord chose, he was going to deal with. He wasn't dealing with them Sumerians, all right? Continuing, it says, so he said he going to make Abraham a great nation and bless him, right? Verse 3, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed of Haran. And so he departed out of the land of Haran when he was 75 years old. He's 75, right? So that goes to let you know that he left those heathens he left the area where them heathens was keeping them pagan ideologies, man. So, like I said, the only reason I was doing this lesson is because that guy brought up the point of Sumeria as if just because it predates the nation of Israel, that means that kingdom has more weight, like it carries more weight to it being true. That means absolutely nothing, man. We're dealing with the power and the God of the Bible, of the scriptures, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he chose the nation of Israel, right? Let's go over to Deuteronomy chapter 4, all right, where the Lord chose the nation of Israel out of all these other nations, all right? And you had nations on the earth. They all had their own civilizations, and they were worshiping their own deities, just like today. You go to East India, they got their own deities they worship. You go to Korea, you go to Japan, you go to China, you go to Iraq, wherever you go throughout the earth, you got nations keeping and worshiping their own deities. They have been doing that for centuries now, but that don't mean shit. That don't mean that the deities that they worship are true. Okay? Like I said, there's nothing new under the sun, and all those deities go back to the same pagan origins that stemmed from the garden of dealing with seeking after those pagan ideologies, all right? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you for to do them, that ye may live, and go in and possess the land which the Lord power, Yahweh, of your fathers giveth you, all right? He was the father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This was the promise he gave to Abraham. This is the land we were supposed to enter into. This is the inheritance, not no damn Sumerian civilization. Let's continue reading. Verse 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord power Yahweh which I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord power Yahweh did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that followed Baal Peor, the Lord power Yahweh have destroyed them from among you. So you had people worshiping Baal Peor, which was another pagan deity that they were worshiping in another land. All right? Verse 4. But ye that did cleave unto the Lord power Yahweh are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord power Yahweh commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. All right? Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation and is wise and an understanding people. All right, so they're going to see us worshiping the true power of creation. Even though they worship their own deities, they're going to see that our power is true. Verse 7. For what nation is there so great who have the Most High Yahweh so nigh unto them, as the Lord Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? So the Lord is telling you, what nation or any nation previous has laws this righteous? All right? Because you go into all these other pagan deities and belief systems, they have some type of weirdo philosophy going on in it. You know what I'm saying? Or some type of wickedness incorporated with it. And you look at their diet, their dietary law. A lot of them don't have no righteous dietary law. They still able to eat whatever animal that crawls, whatever beast crawls upon the face of the earth, whatever creepy crawling thing. They can eat whatever they want. So our laws are on a way higher level of righteousness that the Lord power Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua have given to us, and that's another thing that sets us apart from these previous belief systems. Where's the righteous moral laws? All right. And I just wanted to do a lesson touching on that. Like I said, that was on my mind when that nigga brought it up. He said it as if, okay, the Sumerians hold some type of weight. That look, man, there's many ancient civilizations and they all crumbled and failed. But you know what's still being taught today on a mass scale now? The nation of Israel coming back to their power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So I hope this was edifying. Until next time I say, Shalom.